that was my experience at dinner last night. It was a fun dinner. I'm grateful to be in the room, I guess. Um, and Joaquim, I'm impressed that you knew that term. Psychological
Avi,
bias.
what were they saying about AI in healthcare?
Uh,
Which you thought was like not great.
they were specifically talking about like AI for mental health,
Hmm.
and um, one of the things that scares me is like this idea that in a clinical patient just talk therapy is enough, right? Like with clinical patients, you need talk therapy and medication,
Yeah.
and so the idea that like you can take a clinical patient and just give them an AI is like not proven, dangerous. Like the risk reward is kind of like really not there. Um, they were talking about AI for like end of life um, anxiety, which it's like, oh, all these, you know, terminal cancer patients have huge anxiety about end of life, and the therapy to serve their anxiety is very expensive. We should just build an AI that talks to them at the end of their life. And I'm just like, no, no, wrong. That's just like everything about that is you know kind of cruel in a way. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's crazy. Because I saw a post this morning from the New York Times, and uh, it was like a terminal cancer patient that they made, where they were trying to make like a replication of him with AI, so that like their family could like preserve his memory forever.
But just on that, Laura, there's other issues. So the main one in healthcare, I feel, is whatever the network outputs is based on correlation, not causation, right? So there's this example. I think it was a study where they were trying to detect from images of skin, what do you call, like these signs, like the little dots on your skin. From images of those things, they were trying to detect whether it was carcinogenic or not, right? And they got very good results, even better results than clinicians. And then what they figured out was that the network wasn't actually um, looking at the spot itself to see whether it was carcinogenic or not to get the best results. Whenever it had a ruler in the image next to the spot, it was detecting it as a carcinogenic. Why? Because in clinical practice, when dermatologists see a carcinogenic spot, they put a ruler next to it to measure the size of it. So whenever you had a ruler next to the thing, the network was detecting as carcinogenic, but it has no like causal relationship to the actual problem, right? So that's a big issue as well.
Joaquim, I asked ChatGPT and it said that rulers cause cancer, so I don't know. Ugh. Yeah. It's funny. Talking about human validation and the need for like not training and testing on the same data. We had an exec meeting yesterday with Subod and Madi and Pablo, and Subod was mapping out the next kind of 3 to 6 months for us, and it was all about human validation. It was all about getting humans to prove the results of some of our um, high margin of significance studies. So let's make sure we're not detecting rulers as cancer ourselves. Oh, by the way, Joaquin, one thing I wanted to mention: we did an old study a long time ago on the personas, and I forgot to mention this. There's this expert bias, and if you ask the LLM to act as an expert, it actually gives much more reliable results. And so I wonder if asking the LM to be an expert in the topic can increase the subgroup variability. It's some kind of known bias. I totally forgot we did that study, but someone
No,
might remember.
it will reduce the variance, Harvey. If everyone's an expert, it will converge pretty much on the same answer.
Oh,
So
you
it
think
will
so?
go opposite of the humans.
All right. Okay, forget I said anything. Yeah. Act as if you're maximum Dunning-Kruger.
We could use that approach. So especially in the fuzzy logic literature, they do this all the time where they will have these experts like 20, 30 people, and then they will ask their opinion slash rating on certain questions and then say this is the final answer. So then you could basically try to replicate that, saying whatever 20, 30, 40 people you are trying to play with LLM, saying everyone is an expert. And there it may match the numbers better than a general population based survey.
Got it. Lovely. Lovely. Um, who would like to lead us this beautiful Wednesday morning? Anybody?
Is anybody talking right now?
No, I think we should get started.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
I couldn't hear
All
anything, so I just want to make sure.
righty. Today's Wednesday, so I think we all know the drill. But I do see two new people, so I'll just retell the drill. So on Monday, it's mostly about, like it's the start of the week. So what we are looking forward to in terms of work, on anything great, personal and professional, if you'd like to share, always welcome. Wednesday, middle of the week, same strategy, a little bit different is that whatever we kind of started on Monday or whatever's been going on, how's the progress on that? If we have any blockers, we'd like to mention that so that if anyone can help unblock. And then Friday, given it's the end of the week, assuming we start on Monday and we wrap up on Friday, not going to happen, but if it happens, then Friday is all about something or whatever, if it's close to finish, if it has finished. And then on any day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if anyone has any kind of demo, it doesn't have to be picture perfect. Whatever you started, if is there anything to show, to gather feedback, so that is always welcome. So this is basically the simple rule. So we'll get started with Eric.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So yesterday I went on Apollo, which is our tool for sending out multiple emails, sequencing, and created multiple curated emails based on actual financial contact of the company. So for instance, Panera Bread, they're down, significantly at this time last year. So I created an email on how, we could sort of help, sort of show where the lift is, show where revenue leakage is, things like that. So that was helpful for me to get through this, to go figure this out, because I'm a big believer in sort of creating, extremely curated, very direct emails, one at a time. I just had a question. I was wondering, is there a way to incorporate chat into LinkedIn to show me where conversations are, where they're talking about synthetic respondents or CMOs are talking about difficulties in their business? And I know there's tools out there. I mean, there's plenty of
Yeah.
tools.
No, we had a
There's Cloud.
demo. we had a demo with a tool that does that recently.
Yeah, I mean,
Let me. I will
I
find the
mean,
tool's name and I will get it for you. We can take it for a.
that would be that would be helpful. So one of the things I've been doing is so I've been following because all of my people, and I'm not being exaggerating when I mean all of my people are in France at the Lions CMO conference, Saudi Airlines and Sachi and people at Dave and Buster's and even anyway. So so I've started to follow everybody so that I could then, when they comment on something, I'm part of the conversation. I get an alert that so and so has commented, and then I'm able to sort of join the conversation, keep us front and center, and then maybe even position subconscious in the conversation to say, oh, well, we could perform this, or we could, offer this solution. So that's what I've been up to. It's a little super quiet for my taste, and yeah, that's about it. Avi, you sort of reminded me of the PETA principle, which is executives get one step above their competence level, and I thought that Dunning was similar to that.
The Peter principle does not just apply to executives. It's everyone in an organization
Oh, I meant
rises to their own
yes, an
level of
organ, right?
incompetence and then stays there.
Own level. Fascinating. Thank you, everyone.
I'm assuming, Eric, that's where all our Saudi Airlines people have gone.
Yes.
All righty. Joaquin.
Hello, everyone. So yeah, yesterday I had a little issue with my laptop. I thought it was dead for good, but I managed to revive it with the help of ChatGPT. Some disk issues, but it's really old. So at some point I'll have to see to switch. But fortunately, I already took care of backups, and I have already another laptop on standby. So yeah, yesterday I couldn't do much, but I've just ran a lot of experiments on a lot of different combinations. So like 4 different prompts, and then having examples, no examples, pydantic, no pydantic, no demographics, and some combinations of those. So I have also built something to kind of like aggregate the whole thing and to see it better. There doesn't seem to be for now anything that's like really consistently better. But I still need to analyze all of these. And yeah, I think the next step is I still, apart from these combinations, I still want to make a few changes to the prompt and see if that improves it. And the other thing is, which I mentioned on Monday, is to try to to ask for the answers in natural language, and then just use the LLM in another prompt to convert the natural language responses to the scores. Because what I've been observing is that when we ask for notes on how persona demographics relate to traits, the LLM is able to cite the different demographic traits and justify the reasoning. But maybe when we're asking just for scores, it's just defaulting to like generic responses. So to try to minimize that, I'm going to try to ask for natural language responses and then convert to scores. We'll see what we get.
Righty. Thanks, Joaquin. Laura.
Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. I've been working on the social media posts. We've had some positive reactions from our LinkedIn analytics. We had an increase in impressions, total reactions, and reposts, which was great. I also met with Roberto and Monica. We were working on the grant list this morning, and that's all for me.
Thanks, Laura. Michelle.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So today I am focused on following up with leads that I've been working in the past and starting to develop an ABM lead list for myself as well. I've been also thinking about a lead magnet that I'm working on, basically like a 30-minute problem-solving session offer with a focus in developing messaging that's related to AI and potentially market research as well, so I can pull Subconscious into that too. And then as far as exciting things that have happened, the case study is published. So that's, I'm really excited about that. Thank you to Mia for all the hard work she put in developing a graphic for that. And yeah, super excited. It's a big day for us to get this published. It's been in the works for a really long time. So I'd like to encourage everybody to engage with the post, because if you can get into a post and like comment on it, like it, don't just like it, but if you can comment on it with more than 7 words within an hour of it being posted, that supposedly helps to increase your impressions and reach on LinkedIn. So anybody that can do that would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you want to share it, you could share it with your network as well. I do like to normally say to staff that, you know, I don't want you to feel like you have to do that kind of thing, because, you know, not everybody's active on social. It is super helpful, but if you're excited about the company, you're excited to share about it, then we would love it if you could help to increase the impressions and the reach on it. But just want to be respectful, you know, that not everybody wants to be active on social. So
Can you
anyway,
share the link here so we can share it?
yeah, let's see. We'll do that. I need to get in there and like it and comment on it myself too. So, and I'm going to post it on my LinkedIn as well and my websites too, so we can, you know, get as much reach out of it as possible. So. Yeah, so that's all that I have. I'll post this in the chat here shortly. I'm looking for it right now. Ah, there it is.
All righty. While Michelle posts, we move on. And next up is Monica.
So, hi everyone, happy Wednesday. And what I did is just like for the daily meeting, I meet with Laura and Roberto, and we discussed to like split the work for the grant application, and we will work on this like things today. Yeah.
Uh, I think it's a question to you, Avi. We must have applied for hundreds of grants, right? So far, nothing has come through.
So we have, hold on, whoops, that is not what I wanted to share. We have a spreadsheet, stand by, that I will put in the chat here. That is our grant tracking spreadsheet. Please follow along at home. That is a spreadsheet that I walked the team through this morning. You can see which ones, hold on, let's see. We can actually go through and see which ones were awarded and which ones were completed. So yeah, so far we've won 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We won 1 out of 13 that we've applied to in the last probably 2 months, 3 months. If we maintain that 10% acceptance rate and we complete the like 20 that are currently outstanding, which is $15.1 million, we'll end up winning $1.5 million. If we do a little calculation. We have applied for 3.2 million, and we've won 0.15 so far. So, you know, a lot of these applications so you know, if we have a current like 10% acceptance rate, probably 8% acceptance rate, a lot of these accelerators and grant programs say that they're more competitive than Harvard, that there's, you know, a 0.1% acceptance rate, you know, 0.2%, 0.5%, 1%. So if we're at 10% so far, and a lot of these we haven't been rejected from, it's still ongoing. If we're already at 10%, we're already kind of better than the market. But I don't know. The data is open for the team to assess. Roberto, Monica, Laura, I'm excited to see what you guys deliver. But if you use those numbers, we're 2 orders of magnitude better than the average.
Is this the same launch, Avi, or it's a different launch? The one.
Same one.
So then that means it will be still like in the pipeline, right?
Technically, yes. Yeah, we should actually, that's a good point, Subodh. We should make the application statuses in the spreadsheet match the statuses in Finta. That's a good call out.
So maybe I'm assuming it's gonna be Roberto and Monica are doing the most of the heavy lifting for the research grant. So maybe we need to sit and write at least a 3 or 4 page, which kind of outlines our vision, and then based on that, probably fill out all the other stuff.
Yes, sir. So we already have a lot of that built into the Copilot, right, which we have here. And that Copilot, that's our VC memo Copilot, which we use to help VCs write their investor memos. That is mostly trained off of our FAQ, which is, I will share that in 1 second. It's trained on a lot of different documents, but my favorite document that it's trained on is this FAQ, which is here. Yoink. Latest version. Yeah, exactly. Bingo. So the FAQ informs the Copilot, and then the Copilot informs the grants. Now, Subodh, the document that you built the other day that talks about our differentiators, the new version of the deck that Pablo built with Gaurav, that's not in there yet. We should probably update it. Another thing that I heard actually at New York Tech Week is a lot of the pre-seed companies, I don't want to say a lot, some pre-seed companies, pre-seed investors now are asking for like a white paper, like a 5-page white paper, specifically not a PowerPoint. And this 5-page white paper, you know, very similar to like the PRD FAQ, which is the Amazon document that everyone puts together. Sorry, PRFAQ. Excuse me, not PRD FAQ. PRFAQ. It's a press release and an FAQ. That format is actually some people consider that superior to an investor deck.
Okay. Send me what's the format of it, and then I'll try to then basically fill up the content.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm thinking now we should also include some actual published research as a part of it, and from like big people, really published literature. So that also vouches for, in a way, that what we are trying to build is not some funky stuff. It's kind of proven stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
So just on that note, Roberto and Monica, I'll share a Word document. It's almost very short, 2.5 page, not big, but it kind of gives a very non-technical description of what we are trying to do, how we are a bit different than typical experimentation platform, and maybe from there we build and polish it, and yeah, I mean, make it even more interesting.
Add the document that we were talking about in the past, so to make it more concise, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can literally just drop here. Hang on. I mean, everyone should read it so that we all have a understanding of how the platform works, like what's the principle behind it. Just give me a moment. I can drop in the chat. But okay, we will then continue with Roberto. Actually, you're the next. Go ahead, please.
I mean, yeah, just echoing what Monica and Laura have well said and what we're talking about. So, yeah, done the onboarding yesterday, proceeding now with the list and any questions we'll have. But I think this will keep us pretty busy, at least for this week and whatnot. And yeah, eager then to help on any other part of it with you, so both Michelle, Pablo, anyone.
So I just dropped the document in the chat, so everyone should be able to download and read. I would really appreciate if either Friday or next Monday, if we all had, as a group, had a conversation around it, so we all sort of know what we all understand and what we don't, so that we have like a one single coherent story about what subconscious is. So it will help everyone. So if you all just read, and then yeah, on Monday we can just have, instead of stand up, just have a conversation around it.
I love that
Roberto,
idea.
who's next? Tatuk.
Happy Wednesday. So, what's new since Monday? There were some issues and bugs reported on the dashboard, all connected to the dashboard's UI. So, all those pushes and updates, I put it in the void camp. It's currently on the dev environment. But just to clarify myself, those are not like universal issues that like were present in like all experiments, like nothing like that. So there were like experiment specific. So that's why I haven't like noticed them before. But I put like some special conditions for some of them, so it won't be happening again. That's what I've done so far.
Tatuk. Atish, if you are awake.
Barely. I set up the environment on my local machine because something happened to remote, and then I made sure that the international IPUMS endpoint was still working from 2 weeks ago. All is well, so hoping to review it with you and Madi sometime tomorrow, I think.
Yep, tomorrow morning.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully you can get that into dev or something.
Yeah. I mean, the plan is to have it released to prod. Not this week, end of next week, or Monday of next week. So within 5 to 7 working days. So the next release should include this, the chat-based ideation, and some of the other fix that Hardy has made in the UI. And we will see what else, if we're happy with, can be pushed to prod.
Okay, cool.
So, but what? Sorry, what is the objective? And what is the timeline for releasing dev to prod? And is this going to? But maybe this is a question for Madi. Is this going to be a dev to prod where we finally move to AWS and Databricks?
I think more just pure in terms of edition. The platform change, yeah, Madi can better answer.
Yeah, for the platform change, we are not still on AWS. There was some issues moving to AWS. I told Duplo Cloud he was traveling, and today he said we will have the meeting today to fix that.
Very nice. And so if we're able to execute both of those, then we will have unlimited credits and unlimited infrastructure for the next year or two.
Sorry, could you repeat it?
Yeah, so if we're able to move, if we're able to execute that move to AWS and Duplo Cloud, then we will have unlimited infrastructure and unlimited tokens for the next year or two.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Excellent, and that would add quite a bit of stability to the production instance, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, because kind of.
Exactly. And then Joaquin, I guess it's up to you. Tell us which LLM you'd like us to use. Databricks kind of hosts all of them. They have a nice discount on Claude. I don't know. There's also going to be a balance between quality and speed. I would like to bias towards speed if the quality is kind of insignificant. Or I should say not insignificant, non-differentiated. But anyway, it's just something to think about.
Yeah. What I found out is that in terms of speed, I think the biggest difference has to do with how verbose different LLMs are when they're replying in natural language to some questions. But in terms of the scores themselves, there doesn't seem to be a lot of difference. But I've found like Sonnet is much more succinct than the others, for example. But with my experiments, I'm logging as well time, so I can check all of that.
Wait, so Madi, what is that ETA to move to AWS and Databricks? No pressure.
So for the Databricks, I'm currently working on it to make it at least we have the LLMs that you want. So like max this week we will have it. I'm hopeful that today we'll have it. And for the AWS, I'm pretty sure by tomorrow we can fix the dev environment, and then the rest is up to Duplo Cloud Guy to create the test and the prod environment, replicate the dev to test and prod environment.
Got it. Okay. Is there something I can do to kind of push them forward a little bit?
Yes, maybe I have messaged the Raj, but he is traveling. Maybe Vishal can help.
Got it. Okay. I'll ping them.
It got reshuffled. Hardy next.
Hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. So as I'm working on to performance. I'm focused on reducing the bundle size because as I was researching 1 MB of file bundle size would take like 5 seconds. Before optimization, we had like 1.79 MB. I did some optimization. Now we have like 1.34 MB, and I'm focusing to reduce the bundle size to improve the website performance. Yeah, that's it. I'm just working
What is this for, Hadi?
to improve the website performance. There are some metrics vitals that we initial load and next interaction and all those metrics. So like we want to have like the user when the user visit the website should load faster. If it takes like more than 3 seconds, like 57% of users will leave. So my goal is to have at least 3 seconds speed for the website.
This is for the homepage for Subconscious AI.
Right now, like I focus on to uh yeah, yeah, the whole website. Like right now I'm finding like where the issue libraries like heavy to like my focus is to reduce the bundle size right now.
It's really outrageous. It's really non-functional. Now, Hadi, does it make sense to spend time on the existing
Yeah,
web
there
page?
are like
Yeah, yeah, it's outrageous. Like I have a beefy machine and I can't load our web page. Does it make sense to focus on the
No,
existing web
it
page?
loads, Harvey. Like it loads in like less than a second.
Well, it's probably cached. For me, it's like very laggy. It's unusable on my.
Okay,
I'm
let me
using
try
Chrome.
incognito.
no, if you like test with web page test or page speed insight, uh, they will not even finish the result. If you test using
Right.
Lighthouse, I think it's like 7 seconds. It's not, I think, 1 second.
Yeah, something's very wrong with our
It
website.
should be under 3 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be lovely. I don't even know what. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. 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 Thank you, Hadi. It it didn't used to be like this, right?
It is
Uh,
still it
as
is
far
still
as
very
I know,
fast for
like it
me.
was the same.
I can show.
I believe you.
Uh, this is incognito.
It also is on the internet as well.
So
That's good. I can show you my I have a different experience, but it's okay.
even within the tabs, like it's going very quickly.
I don't know.
And also, Avi, if you can give me access to Versal. I had this before, but I don't have now because I want to check some analytics for the website.
Yeah, let's sit after stand up and I'll give you admin. Happy to.
Okay.
Thanks, Hadi. Who's next? Mia? Yeah, Mia.
Everybody, kind of like Michelle said earlier, we just posted a new case study that I collaborate a lot with Michelle on, and the graphics and editing and everything. That's officially published. So I'm gonna probably just be moving on back to other social content. Little update with like LinkedIn analytics. Past 2 weeks, we've gained 227 followers, which means that we've gained like 100 followers each week, which is pretty cool and great news for growth. And I don't think I'm missing anything else, but yeah, I'm just gonna continue to work on content post and help Laura any way that she needs. Yeah.
Yeah. Pablo. Let's try Pablo.
Hey guys, good morning. Let me see if my camera shows again. I'm on my phone and on HubSpot because there's no internet here. So working on resolving that, just like yesterday. Um, Yesterday I had I think a really, really good demo with a CPG agency. Research agency. They provide advice to consumer product goods, FMCG in Germany, of all places. We used the dev environment to run the demo, and pleased to say it was stable. It ran flawlessly. It was an experiment, by the way, about Cheez-It and how Cheez-It is expanding to the German market. And the results were actually very surprising and unique on what the appetite of the German consumer, would go for in terms of purchasing Cheez-Its. It did a great job. And there was a magical moment um, because at the end, I think this was a person that they found us through the A16Z article, and they were basically going down the list of all the tools that were highlighted there. Um, and something that was pretty amazing was by the end of it, she basically came and was like, there's so much to do. Like, where do I start? Which is common feedback, right? And so I showed her, very timely, the chat feature, the chatbot feature that we have in place in the dev environment. And that was magical. It was a magical moment because it was like last mile, exactly what we had intended. She was asking questions and getting direct conversational answers, and it did a great job. She felt very satisfied with, oh, okay, I can go deeper if I want to, but I get the answer when I want it, how I want it, and it was actually pretty cool. So we played around with that. She wants to follow up. She's meeting with the chief executive, who's currently out, but will be back next week. We're following up in 2 weeks. They do have budget. They want to execute. They're likely going for the $1,000 per seat per month structure. We can potentially be a little bit more creative and playing with credits or having them pay up front or something. Um, what else? They want to, I don't know how many seats yet. That's something that will be confirmed with the chief executive. I'm sending out the follow-up email later on today. So thanks everyone, the engineering team, Sabode, for continuing to teach me about the platform and what resonates, Gaurav, Avi, just yeah, and it was really great, and it was a magical moment for the chatbot. So I think Hadi, you made it look very pretty and ingested, a working system. So it feels good to have it be real. I hope you guys could hear me and see me. It's been a struggle this morning.
One question, I think it's to both you, Pablo and Avi. I think there's a meeting today regarding that chat with Simon or somebody. Is this But if Hardy has already integrated, so what will this be about then?
I just want to make sure. Right now, it's kind of the code is just dumped into a cloud function. I want to make sure that like the code that we have in Git matches the cloud function. They gave us instructions for deployment. I want to make sure those instructions we can actually follow those instructions to deploy it ourselves. There's about a half a dozen keys that right now are hard coded. I want to see if we can get those keys to work off of Doppler. It's really kind of the last mile of like CI/CD, so that we can kind of own the code and manage it ourselves.
Okay, so if that's the case, I was actually thinking in that line. Then Marty needs to be there, right? I won't be of much help in that aspect. Marty needs to be there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I can reschedule it for the morning, so that
Yeah,
Marty's there.
that will be
I'll do
nice.
that.
So that we have Marty and Joachim, even Hardy. So the core engineering folks.
Yes, sir. I'll do. I'll reschedule that right now.
Okay. Next up is Gaurav.
Yeah, so I basically did a cut of the presentation. I ran it through Subod. I think I've come up with a consistency in terminology across all the slides. So I think it's good to go. If we have an aesthetic person who wants to look at it, that'd be great. Otherwise, I think it's good to go as is and get feedback from some early VCs. I'm still waiting to hear back from the guy I know I met at the Alumni Ventures thing, so I like to do a friendly before we send it out, but otherwise I think it's good to go. So I'm just waiting for Avi's feedback.
I love it. Yeah, I'll review it today.
Alumni Ventures, what fund in particular are you talking about? The deep
guy,
tech?
I met a guy at their event, but he was not actually from Alumni Ventures himself. He was from some Surge Capital or something like that. Surge Point Capital.
I see. Okay. Well, because I actually worked at Alumni Ventures, so I'm happy to connect or do something directly. They're usually organized by the school, so maybe we can leverage NYU and Johns Hopkins from Avi's network. I know the people, the partners for Columbia and Brown University, so I can very much lean in very quickly in getting the respective funds for us to get a meeting. I'll do that today.
Yeah, I'm right now. I just want feedback on the presentation. So,
got it.
That's my lead. I'm not actually looking for. I've asked for funding. It's a whole different type of conversation. So I'm just wants feedback. So if someone wants to give me feedback that's outside the company, who's not deep in it already, like you're a fund obviously, but you're deep in this. So yeah, I'm happy to like show this to someone who's friendly but not in the necessarily in the pipeline.
Or so is it conjoint, multi-attribute, Gaurav? Which one did we settle?
Yeah, so I don't know yet for certain, but I've stuck with discrete choice experiment for now.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the knowledge, you're saying that conjoint is very technical. I just don't know the answer, so I need to pitch it to someone and see what they say, and we can always in words say conjoint. Conjoint is something I'd heard of at least, so that's why I thought it was more known. And then for the choice models is what I've used for the top level thing. So hybrid choice model or simulated choice model I've used for the top, and then discrete choice experiment instead of conjoint. But this can change depending on what the feedback is. And I think you can also mention in words what a conjoint analysis is. I mean, if anyone will give me feedback, is conjoint analysis like a known term, Michelle, for example? Would you understand that better than discrete choice experiment?
Yes, I would. Conjoint analysis is a term that I used when I was doing research. at USAA that when we did experiments or we did surveys like that. So yeah, I wouldn't recognize the other terminology about the discrete choice.
Okay, so I can go back to conjoint analysis. The key would be what a funder would know. I only know because I work next to a product management team that did consumer products and they ran conjoint analysis. Otherwise, I would not have heard of the term.
Yeah.
But okay, I can use.
Yeah, just
I can go
like
with,
what I'm doing. Sorry, got a delay here.
yeah.
I was just going to say when I'm giving demos, like I choose to use that word sometimes depending on the audience and you know how research savvy they are. But if they aren't research savvy, sometimes I throw it out, but I always give a description of, you know, what it is in really simple terms.
When you throw it out, what's the word you use instead?
I mean, I will say it's like a conjoint analysis survey, but then describe how, you know, it basically shows how everything is interrelated and compares to each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're going for the first cut is conjoint analysis and see how that lends itself.
What people value most. How about something like trade-off testing? No, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make, yeah.
Let's wrap up stand up. We could do this in a session. We have a bunch of people who still have to go, and I don't want us to go too late.
Okay. So you're up next, Harvey.
Fundraising and follow-ups. We have 2 partner meetings this week.